Folks, we got something really interesting to show you today. We've got a Tilmore tractor. Now it's unique, and we're here with Liddell, and he's going to tell us all about it. Now, in some previous videos, you've seen us show the Ventrac tractor. This tractor is made by the same organization. So it's going to have the same type of very custom, very unique for the application type engineering behind it. So Liddell, we really appreciate you joining us today, and hope maybe you could tell us a little about this tractor.
Yeah. So Tilmore is our tractor and tools, and so we are working on a wide variety of tools that can go on this tractor, that anywhere from planting, cultivation, plastic laying, down the road even maybe some post-harvest threshing, a wide range of systems and challenges that smaller growers are having today, accessing equipment both here locally, nationally, and also globally. Equipment that's appropriately sized for their farm, which is focused maybe on vegetables or organic or edible beans or heritage grain, any of those kinds of areas that people really are trying to push into but are having troubles finding that the equipment to go with that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I notice when I look at this tractor is how everything's in front of you.
Yes.
I mean, you can see from the seat right down in and see exactly what you're doing. And it reminds me, you even mentioned this on your website, but my dad always drooled over getting an Allis-Chalmers G.
That's right.
And this looks, I believe it was modeled after the Allis-Chalmers G.
You are correct. We are not bashful in saying that, yes, we took the idea of the G. It was a revolutionary tractor of its size. Unfortunately, it was built just before the ag grew exponentially, and it wasn't a sustainable model at that time.
Absolutely. Let me explain that a little bit. What happened was the G and the Tilmore have the engine in the rear and this focus to put the attachments underneath. Well, as the attachments grew and grew and grew, you simply couldn't get away with these front-mounted attachments, or mid-mounted attachments, I guess. And it wasn't sustainable in that way. But what you're seeing, Liddell, is that there's a renewed interest in these smaller farms, maybe in the organic space, maybe just people that have a few acres and want to grow for local farmers markets, things like that, right?
Yeah, and many of them are still using G tractors. When we started designing the Tilmore, we visited with a number of growers and asked, how could we improve on the tractor? Not just copy the tractor, but how can we improve on it? Once again, the clear upfront visibility, having a little bit better operator safety. And so you'll notice the G, there's not a lot of safety features on it, but here we have the seat belt, the roll bar, the flasher lights, and also more of an operator presence area that's easy to get on, easy to operate. We also worked hard at giving more space under the belly. So if you look at a G, there's just a little bit of a space to put a small tool on, maybe some cultivation tines, but here we've given a lot more area without really increasing the length of the tractor much. So we want to keep the tractor the same size, which is pretty hard, and give us more space.
It looks like it might be a little higher too.
It is a little higher. It's a little more boxy, so you can get tools that are longer and taller all the way to the back. We also wanted to be able to incorporate hydraulic lift as a standard, and then be able to have lights, so that some growers, they have their day job and the only time they can work is at night.
Look here, Christy. This has got a light right down here.
Oh, nice.
Is there one on this side? Look at that.
Yeah, very nice.
So these are, I assume, like LED lights right down there. And so you could work right below you. You can see very much detail there then.
So you'll notice even some simple things like being able to move the steering wheel to give you different, wherever you're working, gives you that ability to move things around.
So you can see depending on your situation.
We will have a gas and a diesel option. So the diesel is a Kubota 23 horsepower and liquid cooled.
Okay.
And then on the gas, we have a Vanguard, which is a Briggs & Stratton air-cooled 23 horsepower as well.
Okay, so they're both similar horsepower, but probably a significantly less cost on the Vanguard.
Exactly. We chose to go with a standard transmission.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-speed with a high and low that gives us 8 forward gears and 2 reverse. We went with the standard transmission simply because of the longevity of making sure that it can withstand the elements of time. Also, with having these tractors literally all over the world, we wanted something that was much simpler to fix and maintain. The big challenge, though, is that not too many tractors have a very basic standard transmission anymore, and so being able to locate that, get that built for this tractor has been an important challenge for us.
Yeah, but another advantage of the standard transmission in this power range is you can transmit a lot of power to the ground, and these are most of the time ground engaging implements that you're using, and so only 23 horsepower, and by using a manual transmission you can get a lot of that to the ground.
That's exactly right.
The hydrostatics that we use in other units just can't pull as much as far as physically pulling.
You're right on. We noticed when we visited with farmers that they liked to add things onto their tractor. And so you'll notice that there's a wide range of reese hitches. Here's one, here's one. We have one up front for our rock box. And all of those are designed so that you can put a standard 2-inch tube anywhere in your tractor basically and add something on. And so that gives the operator the ability to kind of customize their tractor and allow them, without having to weld something onto the side, it's already built in, you just put a pin and you can feel good about that.
And the attachments are built on 2-inch tube as well.
As we visited farmers and talked with growers on these smaller growers, we noticed that they seem to have multiple old tractors. And the question was, well, why do you have more than one? And it always came back, it's so hard to change the tool. So they had one tool for every tractor.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is say, you shouldn't have to have one tool for every tractor. Let's give you one tractor and many tools, and ability to change them out similar to the Ventrac within a minute or two.
So this is a test facility, okay? So when we see here and we see this is real world, and they intend to make it real world, they intend to make it a place where they're actually growing food for people, okay? And they feel like that's the best way to test a product. It makes perfect sense to me. So Liddell has walked me through this once. Let me see if I can do this. First, we've already got this little winch thing in the 2-inch receiver right here, the reese hitch as he calls it. And we've got this in the 2-inch place here. We're ready to hook it up. So the objective here is to lift this thing up so we can swing it out here. And then we don't actually have to do the lifting ourselves. So we need to check to see if this is loose here. This has to be, that's loose enough. And then we got to lift it up.
Make sure we unloose these pins.
I already forgot something.
So you push down and pull up. Push down, pull up. Once you go with one hand, you can go with one hand, but that's good.
Okay, so these are the same concept as in a quick hitch, the bottom 2 links on a quick hitch. You know those big levers we have on our quick hitch? That's exactly what's going on, only they've got it all built in right in here. So then I can pick directly up here, hopefully. If the arms, can't tell if the arms are going to stay down or not. Okay, and we are out. Now we're off the ground.
This is mostly for our research so that we can tell you which is the best application.
Okay.
And we've kind of already tuned in what we like, but this gives us the ability to test it.
Okay. And then the other thing that I understand about this thing that we're going to see when we get out there is that this drives the chain on the end, and notice that sprocket's bigger on the front, and that's going to force the back one to spin faster.
First,
I'm in neutral.
Yep.
And I got no key switch.
Right up there.
This thing?
Yeah.
We're just out for a Sunday drive. It's a Saturday, but anyway.
We did this over here on Wednesday and Thursday. You can see the difference between the two. Just by getting in and getting on it when we should have.
They left just a little bit for us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so how fast typically do you like to run? In low gear?
Faster is better.
Okay.
How many beans are you going to take out?
It's a trial farm, remember, you're okay. I would say go in third low.
Okay.
And see how that goes.
Now I assume we want to let this thing go
Just
totally on its own.
Yes.
It's basically in a float type
So
scenario.
what this is our depth control limiter.
Yeah.
So that's why it was set up for the planter, and we had it all.
Yeah.
We switched it, so now you can see how easy it is to set your depth if you want.
Very nice. Yeah.
show you a little bit. You can see the difference, and the weeds are just, you can see the difference where we should have been. The weeds are just a little bit taller. They're pulling out, but you can notice here's where we had that back wire, and here's where we didn't have the back wire. And what we've already learned is we almost need to have that back wire on all of them.
Yeah, this didn't do nearly as good as the basket. That basket is really,
Yeah.
I didn't think it would do much.
I didn't either.
I was assuming you had figured out that this was a lot better.
We figured out, so the original basket weeder is designed with wires. The reason why we've gone and added other different kinds of systems is that in heavier clay soils or rocky soils, the wires tend to have more of a problem. So we're trying out some different theories of what might make the most sense in the long run. And what we're finding is the wires are the best solution. Then the front spiders on the front are the second best in a heavier clay soil.
So that's a front spider with back wire,
right,
in that case. So the far right is
both wires
on both of them.
And you can see that does the best job.
Yeah.
I think pretty much.
It's the most tillage.
It will pull out the most weeds. But if you have more rocks or heavier clay, we're exploring this other alternative.
Now you would use either, these solutions are for when the crop is really small, like we're working now.
Exactly.
When you get to bigger crop, we're actually going to use sweeps and things.
Sweeps, parallel cultivators, other things, finger weeders, all kinds of good other stuff that will go in here. But this is a first, secondary cultivation when crops are young.
And it did. I noticed we sped up here a little bit, and it does
a little better job.
It does better when it's going faster.
Yeah.
It's real easy to see here, to see the actual rows. It takes a lot of concentration, but it's very easy to see, and you have a lot of control. At first I thought the manual steering might be a little bit of a challenge, but the front end is so light, there's no problem at all on that. It takes a very special design to be able to have a cultivator that you can go this fast in beans this small. Typically, the type of row crop cultivation that you would have done, when I was a kid, you would go very, very slow, and quite frankly, there would be no way to have gone over beans this size. You just had to wait until they got bigger. But by the time they get bigger, these weeds have got bigger too and are really hard to control. So this actually makes a lot of sense as a way to handle the weeds. Now, for something like this, you don't need a lot of tractor horsepower. So we've got plenty of horsepower here. It's the visibility that it's all about. But with this much, we're able to see 3 rows. We're able to see exactly what happens if there were to happen to be some trash or other material that would get in here. You'd see it immediately. You wouldn't have any issue with, running over any crop or anything like that. It's right here. You can see exactly what you have going on.
I think we could hire you.
Well, it's not the first time I've ever done any cultivating. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all right. Well, it doesn't look like this is the first time. You knew what you were doing.
Christy, you have to give it a try, though. Maybe not in 4th gear like I was running.
I've never cultivated anything.
Well, that's what second gear is.
You've got 40 feet, and it'll be a wonderful 40 feet.
Liddell, I really appreciate you showing us this tractor. This thing it's quite unique and well suited for the task.
Yeah, well, thank you. We've spent a lot of time, the engineers at Venture Products, putting time in designing and developing and thinking through a lot of the intricacies of what you're needing when you need it.
Yeah, very detailed. I mean, for the cultivation we did here, it's something that we couldn't have done on the farm because the beans are just too small. We couldn't have got that close to the row. There are just so many things we couldn't have done with the larger equipment that I'm used to.
Yeah. Well, I think, Tim, you and both Krista, you guys got a chance to jump in there, get some weeds out, try the basket weeder out, and really impressed with both your knowledge on the, well, I guess you farmed before, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Grew up on a much larger scale farm than what you're talking about with these type tractors, but I would say this tractor is very easy to drive. I was a little concerned about the manual steering, but it's so light on the front end, it's not a problem at all. Excellent tour. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. You'd never know what you're going to see on Tractor Time with Tim. We'll see you next time on
Tractor Time with Tim.
See, we just don't have views like that in Indiana.
No. That's beautiful.
Looks to me like we're here at the wrong season, Lindell.
Yes, you are. You're missing the raspberries. They're going to be coming on strong here soon.
Catriel, you're missing it.
I know, she loves raspberries.
That grows beautiful, doesn't it, Christy? If you know what kind of lettuce that is, leave a comment. Let us know.